What's up, everybody? Happy Friday. Friday, April 17th, I think it is. So, trying out to not doing it outside today because I'm trying to figure out if I'm going to be doing this for a long time. Going to be working from my desk. I don't know. Might see me moving around in my house a little bit. So, getting on to math. I ready. We ended off on page 3 and 4 yesterday. Not yesterday, the day before. And that was ratio concepts and equivalent ratios. Today we're going to continue on with that, and we're going to go rate concepts. Okay, so if you have the pages out in front of you, please get your eye ready, page 5 and 6. Looks like this. That's 5. 6 looks like this. Page 6 down at the bottom. Okay. 5 and 6, understanding rate concepts. So let's start with the first thing that I like to start, the definition up at the top, so we can understand, well, what is a rate in the first place, okay? Rate is this. Rate is a ratio, so it's a continuation of what we did yesterday, a ratio that compares two quantities in different units. Let's go ahead and write that down right at the top. Put your definition right up there. Oh my gosh, there we go. A ratio that compares two quantities in different units. Well, what do you mean by that? Yesterday when we were working on the other ones, we were talking about things such as teeth, okay, shark teeth, what kind, they were tiger sharks and all these things. We were talking about things like tennis rackets and tennis balls. Today, understanding rates, it's talking about different units. So you could be comparing minutes to quantities, okay? Now, follow me here. Hang on just a second. You're going to come with me. Continuing on with rate, okay, we also need to understand unit rate. So there's rate and unit rate. So we have our definition for rate. Now let's go ahead and write our definition for unit rate. A unit rate is a rate where the second number, the second quantity is what I'm going to put, in the second quantity is 1 unit. That's the definition for that one. Unit rate. A rate where the second quantity is 1 unit. Okay? So we got a rate that's comparing two different things. And we got a unit rate where we know that that number gets down to 1. We're trying to find out how much you get per 1. It's a little bit hard to explain, but once we get through it, I think you're going to understand me. Okay? So stay with me here. Let's read number 1, page 5, Understanding Rate Concepts. It's a word problem here. It takes Maya 30 minutes to solve 5 logic puzzles. It takes Amy 28 minutes to solve 4 logic puzzles. Use models, what are you going to be using? Models. To show the rate at which each student solves the puzzles in minutes per puzzle. Oh my gosh, kind of a big one there, okay? So let's start by dissecting it. Let's underline, first off, what is it asking me? What is it asking me? Let's look back over. Use models, got it. To show the rate, okay, ooh, I think I need to start there. Underline, show the rate. Each student solves the puzzles in minutes per puzzle. Okay, what is it asking me to do? It's asking me to show the rate that each student solves the puzzle in minutes. How many minutes does it take them to solve one puzzle is basically what we're getting to. Let's circle some things that we do know. Okay, who's our first character in here? Maya. Okay, who's our other character in there? Maya and her good friend, Amy. Well, what does it tell us about Maya? It says Maya, 30 minutes, 5 puzzles. That's what I'm going to circle right there. Maya, 30 minutes, 5 puzzles. What else do I know? Amy, let's see what she's got. 28 minutes, 4 puzzles. Okay, I know that Maya took 30 minutes to do 5 puzzles, and Amy took 28 minutes to do 4 puzzles. Now, if you want to use color, let's just grab 2 colors that I have here. Blue and orange. Ew, Broncos colors. Gross. A Raider fan. Broncos, no good. Maya and Amy. I would put them in separate colors so that I know. Today we're going to be using a table. Okay, as soon as I show you the table, you'll kind of remember, oh yeah, we did this in class before. That's right, I remember that. Let's set up our table. We're going to need 2 separate tables here. I got a table for Maya, I got a table for Amy. So I'm going to set up Maya's table first. What is a table, Misty Fonseca? I don't remember. Yes, you do. You'll remember. Just a second. What do you mean a table? Like thing you're sitting on? No, that's a chair. If you can see that. Mins, short for minutes. Okay, what I'm comparing? Minutes, and what's the other thing they told me? Minutes and, what are they solving here, kids? Puzzles. Puzzles will be on my other side. Just like so. Okay? Minutes, minutes, puzzles, puzzles. Knowing that these are rates, I'm comparing 2 different things. I'm comparing minutes to puzzles. It's not the same thing. I'm not comparing minutes to minutes or hours to hours. I'm comparing minutes to puzzles. Now let's go ahead and fill in our first columns, knowing the information it's already given me, right? I did have some information. It's already given me that. I got Maya, 30 minutes, 5 puzzles. So how many am I going to put right here? Under Maya, number of minutes, what did it give me? 30. How many puzzles did she do? She did 5. And then the same thing for Amy, right? Amy would be like, how many minutes did Amy work? And how many puzzles did she solve in those number of minutes? Go ahead and fill those in right now. Okay, all I did was just fill in the blanks of the information it already gave me. I didn't solve anything just yet. I'm just getting my table set up. 30 minutes, 5 puzzles, 28 minutes, 4 puzzles, based on the information that's already given me right up here. Now let's get to a unit rate. Let's get to how much it would take them to solve 1 puzzle. Okay, I'm trying to get to the number 1. I want to know how long it would take them to solve 1 puzzle. I'm not concerned about how long it would take them. I'm not concerned about my number of minutes. I want to know how many puzzles they can solve. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. I'm concerned if they were only to do 1 puzzle, how long would that take them? I know how long it took her to do 5 puzzles. I know how long it took her to do 4 puzzles, but how long would it take them if they were only to do 1 puzzle? Okay? Well, I'm going to fill that in here. I want to know if they were just to do 1 puzzle, how long would it take them? Sorry about that. That was my lunch timer. Food's in the oven. Okay, so kind of just like what we did yesterday, right? How would I go from 5 to 1? What would I do to get from 5 to 1? Using multiplication or division. Same thing over here. How would I get from 4 to 1? Well, I would get from 5 to 1 by dividing by 5. So 5 divided by 5. And on the same side, I'm sorry, on Amy's table, take the number 4 and I divide it by 4, that gets me 1. Over here, I took the number 5 and I divided by 5, that gets me to 1, because I'm trying to find how long it would take them to do one puzzle. Remember, whatever I do to one side, I got to do it to the other side, right? So on Amy's table, I'm going to take 28 and divide it by 4. On Maya's table, I'm going to take 30 and divide it by 5. So what's 30 divided by 5? Anybody know off the top of your heads? Say it out loud. 6. $28 divided by 4. 7. Now we can look at our tables and look at Maya. Maya got one puzzle done, it would have took her 6 minutes. If Amy only did one puzzle, it would have taken her 7 minutes. Okay, Maya did one in 6 minutes, Amy did one in 7 minutes. Who do you think is the faster puzzle solver? Looking at this data. Just ponder on that one for the second, okay? Let's look at the second part of question 1. It says, if Maya and Amy had the same number of puzzles to solve, who would finish first? Well, they solved a different number of puzzles, and so it was different timing. But let's just say I only wanted them to solve 10 puzzles or 3 puzzles. I have to look at my unit rate. How long did it take them to solve one puzzle? Maya, it took her 6 minutes. Amy, it took her 7 minutes. So who would be quicker? Maya. That's what we just talked about there. So my answer could be something like, always race to respond, restate the question. If Maya and Amy had the same number of puzzles to solve, who would finish first? If Maya and Amy, I'm just restating the question, that's all I'm starting with, had the same number of puzzles to solve, comma, who do we say would finish first? Who's faster? Maya. Maya would finish first because why? So all I did here was just restate the question. If Maya and Amy had the same number of puzzles to solve, Maya would finish first because why? Fill that in on your own. Tell me why. Just use your best words. Well, we just talked about it. How many minutes did it take Maya? How many minutes did it take Amy? They had the same number of puzzles to solve. Who would finish first? Well, we already said Maya, but why? Tell me why. Perfect. Let's move on to the second one. I'm going to let you fill that one in on your own. Pause it here if you need to. I'm moving on to the second one. Number 2, a garden hose supplies 36 gallons of water in 3 minutes. Use a table of equivalent ratios, so going back to what we learned yesterday, equivalent ratios, to show the garden hose's water flow in gallons per minute and minutes per gallon. So underline what it's asking us to do. Use a table, got it. Show garden hose's water flow, got it. But it's giving me some specific details. It wants me to know gallons per minute and minutes per gallon. Okay, circle the information that I already have. What is the information that it has already given me? 36 gallons in 3 minutes, right? I'm going to circle that because it has given me that. I don't have to do any thinking there. It gave me that information. Well, it says use a table, so I'm going to set up my table. Okay, and I'm going to put mins for minutes because it gave me minutes. I'm going to put gals, which is short for gallons. It seems like it's asking me to do a few different things here. Gallons per minute and minutes per gallon. So I know I gotta add an extra line in there. More than just this one. So I'm gonna first draw my first line, fill in the information it's already given me, and then I'm gonna draw additional lines to prepare for the problems I'm gonna be solving. There we go. Go ahead and fill in your top one here. What's the information it already gave you, how many minutes and how many gallons. It already gave you that. You don't have to do any work there. You're just filling it in. Oops, I have that right. 3 minutes, 36 gallons. Let's get to a unit rate of minutes. Gallons per minute. First thing it asks me is gallons per minute. Gallons per minute. When you hear the word per, you know it's talking about just one. Per. So gallons per minute is how many gallons if they were to do just 1 minute. Okay? The per minute, I'm going to even circle that right here. Per equals 1. So I went ahead and circled this per minute. Per minute, you see the word per equals 1. Okay? Per minute, so I want to have 1 minute. Just 1 minute. How do I get from 3 to 1? Well, how did I get from 5 to 1 up here? Or 4 to 1? You divide it by its own number. So 3 divided by 3 equals 1. And whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other side, right? That's my next step. What's 36 divided by 3? 12. Okay, that solves my first one. I know that it takes me 12 gallons per minute. I could get 12 gallons if I had the water hose running just for 1 minute. Actually, I'm going to even write that down right now before I forget. Oops. So here's what I'm writing. In 1 minute, because I got to the per 1 minute, in 1 minute, the garden hose would supply blank gallons of water. You fill it in. Okay? So I just wrote it off to the side. You can write it here or anywhere that's convenient for you. In 1 minute, the garden hose would supply blank gallons of water. We just solved it here. You just fill it in. Okay, that's the first part of my problem there. Now, we had the second part. It wants to know minutes per gallon. Now I need to get my gallon to 1. We did gallons per minute and got my minutes to 1. But now I need per gallon. So I need to get my gallon down to 1. So I can fill in that 1 knowing that it wants me to get down to 1. Okay? How did you get that 1 right there, Misty Baltica? Because it says per gallon, and per equals 1, right? Per, we already said, equals 1. per equals 1. Per gallon, per equaling 1, so per gallon, and I only want to get to 1 gallon. Now, how do I get from 12 to 1? What can I do? How did I get from 3 to 1? How did I get from 4 to 1? How did I get divide it by itself? So to get from 12 to 1, you would go 12 divided by 12. Okay? And what can you assume? If I did this here on this side, what am I going to have to do on this side? Divide by 12. Yep. Now, many of you may not have a calculator at home, or just don't use it. You're not very good with the one on your cell phone, or whatever it may be. So you don't have to do this in a decimal form. Let's just leave it as a fraction. Let's just make it nice and easy. If I were to do 12 divided by 12, I got 1. If I were to do 1 divided by 12, how could I write that in a fraction form? One would be your numerator, 12 would be your denominator. Now you just need to take this information and write it in sentence form. The garden hose would fill 1 gallon of water. Oops. 1 gallon of water in blank minutes. I'm not going to fill it in for you. Fill it in on your own. The garden hose would fill 1 gallon of water. I got to my gallons, I got down to 1. How many minutes did it take me? And finally, at the end, the second part of problem 2, how many gallons of water does the hose supply in 10 minutes? All right, so let's just make a new table. I'm going to just take the information I already have. Mins and gals. I'm just rewriting the same information it's already given me. That's the information it gave me way up here at the top. But now it wants to know, what if you were doing it for not 3 minutes, but 10 minutes? What if you were doing it for 10 minutes? Okay. I know that 3, you cannot multiply it to get to 10 nice and easily. I know that it's not going to come out into an even number. So I'm going to bring this 3 down to a 1, and from 1 I can get to 10 nice and easily using multiplication. I know I already started up here, so I did 3 divided by 3 gave me 1. And I had 36 divided by 3, that gave me 12. So I'm just filling in the information that we already did. We already did that work. Now, how can I get from 1 to 10? Is there multiplication or division I could do to get from 1 to 10? 1 times it by 10 equals 10. And you're right, whatever we do to one side, we've got to do to the other. So 1 times it by 10 equals 10. That got me my 10 minutes. What about 12 times it by 10? I'm not even going to fill it in for you. You guys fill it in. 12 times it by 10. And then when you would answer the question, you would restate your question. The water hose would supply blank gallons of water in 10 minutes. Okay, So once you go ahead and do the math right there, that's the number of gallons you get that would fill it in here. Page 6 is understanding rate concepts continued. There's only one problem, question 3, and it's got several parts to it. Try it out on your own using tables. Okay? Believe in you.